The American Egyptian Women of Influence podcast aims to be the American Egyptian culture podcast of choice. We believe that our knowledge and our participants' stories will greatly enhance understanding of both cultures. I'm Karen Leggett Aburaya. Delila Khaled was born in New York City and grew up in international schools all over the world before settling in the United States. Both her parents are Egyptian, and she traveled often to Egypt as a child. In 2005, she was a co-founder of the Development Innovations Group, or DIG. Now an independent consultant, she has built expertise in development finance, women's empowerment, and municipal services like recycling and water use. Welcome, Delila.
Thank you very much, Karen.
You started DIG with a passion for reducing poverty through innovative, commercially viable, and replicable solutions. That's a tall order. But those seem to be the goals that continue to motivate you. So what are some of the solutions you came up with, either in Egypt or anywhere else?
That's a great question. So I would say kind of one of the things I think I'm most proud of in terms of the work that we did at Development Innovations Group is some of the work that we did in Kenya with the water sector. Kenya had undergone what was a privatization of the water sector. So basically turning over control of the water utilities from the government into private sector hands, though the management was still in the hands of the government. So how do you take a model like that and make it financially sustainable? And what we were able to do in a nutshell in Kenya was unlock commercial financing from the banking sector for the first time to these utilities, which took a lot of work in terms of expanding. Obviously, the end goal was to expand access to water for the poor. So that entailed working in informal settlements, showing these water utilities how to do feasibility studies, how to understand what the ability of the poor was to pay for water, what type of maintenance needs were required, but ultimately to bring the poor, the municipality, and the banking sector to the table to unlock the flow of water by unlocking the flow of funding and commercial finance.
All comes back to money, doesn't it?
Yeah,
One way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're an independent consultant.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of projects excite you now?
Well, one of the things that I've been working on for the past few months that I'm super excited about is working on women's economic empowerment in the global recycling sector with a focus specifically on mitigating the flow of plastic pollution into the ocean and marine environment. And the U.S. Agency for International Development, with the backing of the U.S. government, is now channeling more and more funding. So I was part of the team Development Innovations Group, actually won the first focused recycling program in Southeast Asia on this subject area, and I have now was brought back through a USAID contract to do a global women's economic empowerment assessment of the recycling sector. And now I've just seen the procurement package. So basically, the new round of funding for programs in Latin America has been issued following our guidelines for women's economic empowerment in the sector, and hopefully, I might, if good fortune has it, be part of one of the teams implementing some of those programs.
Now, you mentioned all sorts of countries in different parts of the world, but you are an American Egyptian.
Proudly.
Has that dual identity ever been a challenge for you?
You know, for me personally, it has never been a challenge. I can't say that that is the case for everyone everywhere, but I somehow never felt that these were competing identities or ideologies or anything remotely approaching ideology, to be honest. My parents did a great job of making us feel very empowered with all aspects of our identity. And in all honesty, the way that they taught me the best of America was bringing all of the diversity and all of the mix that we have. That's what this country was all about. And so I never grew up feeling that I had to somehow compromise one identity to satisfy another. I felt that being American was being this mix of things, right?
Well, on that beautiful thought, well, thank you very much. We wish you very well in your new adventures.
Thank you so much, Karen.